Larger, slower is more efficient. So after you've dumped off, to get my breathing back to normal, and breathing in and out through the nose as early as we can in that minute is going to be more calming for the nervous system, and then like cognitively for you to be able to take on the instructions that the coach is giving us. Whereas if we stay, the coach is telling you stuff, it's like, fuck, it's not going in because your body's just like in stress mode. We need to get away from that. The way we get away from that, dump off the CO2, then get back to
we should be in that state within 15 seconds. We should be there.
Let's not put a time on it. Okay. Put a notion on it. We're going, as you practice doing this, you're just going to get better at doing it. And practice it in training. So you do those strong, but at the end of the session you were doing those were you doing 5 minutes rounds at the end of the session?
Yeah, L2s. And
then you had a minute rest, and it was basically you were simulating what you were doing in a fight.
But we're all sparring tomorrow, so we can do that in between rounds, yeah.
Exactly. You can practice that. You'll get better at doing that. As you improve your day-to-day breathing, everything is going to feel better anyway. Okay? The breath holding we're going to do at the end is going to be the final little cherry on the top for it.
So for me to absorb CO2, I need a small inhale and a big exhale.
Well, your inhale is going to be, your body's just going to do whatever it wants to do.
Okay.
And we're going to focus on controlling strong, forceful exhale, get rid of the CO2.
Okay.
Yeah? But as you see yourself improving with your breathing, you'll notice that you'll not need to dump off as much CO2, it just won't be as strong. If you facilitate all the other stuff that I'm going to tell you.
So you don't do that unless you need to do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Will your breathing correlate with your heart rate?
Yeah. So then your heart rate will come down, the nervous system will start to regulate, and your mind then will start to be able to focus better. That makes sense? When we're breathing like that, getting rid, and that's like when we aren't, when I mentioned CO2 helps with the blood vessels dilating. Like that allows oxygen to get to the brain flow to the brain easier.
So you make better decisions in there.
So we can then make better decisions.
Yeah, that's it.
And take on the information the coach gives.
Everybody sees these people, yeah. I got the guy in Spain, Daniel Jacare, yeah. So whenever he's tired, he has this one breath. I've seen him do it in all fights. He'll be like, boom, 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 and then has this one breath. He goes, ha, and his body just goes. Like, his body just responds to the way that he breathes. You know, like I don't know how that is. Like, consciously, subconsciously.
Exhales, the diaphragm, slower, all stimulate, and the build-up of CO2 helps to stimulate the vagus nerve. And that helps with that relaxation response, getting ourselves out of that state, that stress state, that fight or flight state. Yeah? Okay. In order to help you breathe, I'm saying that when you're really struggling, we need to breathe bigger. How well your ribs are moving will dictate that. I'm going to give us an exercise to do where we're going to help to facilitate that better movement of the ribs. Okay? I'm going to demonstrate one lying down, and then I'll talk, I'll do it with someone, and then I'll talk us all through it together. Okay, I'm going to be lying on my right hand. Just watch me for now. Don't try. I'll explain it to everyone in a second. Lying on my right hand side. I'm going to reach over with my left arm. I'll get stuck at the point where I can't move anymore. I want to fix my hips because I want the movement to come from my thoracic spine. Your rib cage connects into our thoracic spine. Your rib cage, your thoracic spine, your diaphragm, your shoulder blades which sit on your rib cage, your hip flexors which connect with your diaphragm are all connected. If your ribs are moving better, your rib cage is better, your spine is better, your posture is better, your breathing is better, your shoulder blades are sitting better, your shoulders are functioning better, you're throwing better. It's all connected, okay? So I'm fixing the hip by lying over on one side. My right hand keeps my left knee on the floor. I reach over and I'm stuck. In order for me to facilitate better rotation, the ribs on my left-hand side need to move to the left. And that's actually an extension pattern. Inhalations stimulate a part of the brain that governs activation of extensors in the body. So a strong inhale fires up this part called the pons, and it helps extensor tone, which means I'm going to be able to move these ribs more this way. To keep me going the other way, the ribs on the right hand side need to move to the left as well. These are opening, but these are doing the opposite. These are closing towards the midline. Closing is a flexion pattern, exhales related to flexion. So inhales related to opening and extension. Exhales facilitates activation of the medulla, which is flexion closing. So I'm going to breathe in strongly through my nose and do a load of 3 or 4 big, strong inhales and try to use the air to move the ribs. And then my exhale is going to be forceful, trying to get all the air out, and I'm going to be thinking about getting those ribs in towards the middle. You can see what happens. So I reach over, keep that knee down. So I can't go any further, I'm not messing about, that's me stuck. So I breathe into this side. In. Can't get any more air in. Keep getting it in. I'm thinking about moving those ribs, then force air out the other side.
It's what you do in yoga, isn't it? You
Yoga.
breathe to go further on.
Okay? So that's keeping that knee down. I'm trying, my hand has touched these now, I'm trying to get my shoulder blade down towards the floor. Okay? So I'll talk you through it. Everyone lie on their right hand side.
I'll smash this.